Mike Perkins, I'm here representing the Barre Common Oversight Committee. We just have a few questions. There's a common fund, the town common, and the balance about $18,000. Is this fund ever renewed, or is this just a one-time thing?
This is the amount of money that was left over from the major common project that was done some probably decade or plus ago. So there's an amount of money in there. It averages around between $18,000 and probably $23,000, and that is available for what you guys have been working on, which is the replacement of the railings.
Right.
And we had talked with the person who was the chair of that committee, Paul Cranston, before he left to go play golf in the Carolinas forever. And he was very much aware of the need for this, and you know, this was something that common group was working on.
Yeah.
So we're happy about that.
There's about $18,000 left, and we expect the railings project might use up all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to know, is this a priority for the select board? Because if any other money is needed from that fund, it won't be available for the railings.
Well, the only concern that I have about the railings, and certainly the board can speak to it, they are in terrible shape.
Yeah.
Many of them are just falling on their own weight, they're so rotted and so forth. I'm sure that there are some that could limp along another year or two, but many of them are in very bad
Yeah.
shape. But your comments.
Exactly how many are there? 200 and something?
Mike would say 200.
200 even?
I haven't counted them yet, there might be more, I don't know. Yeah, at least half of them are rotten or on their way out. He's looking for sources for new ones. But we want to get some pressure treated, maybe hemlock or something. But we just want to know if that's a priority, if we can use all that money
Well,
for the railings.
I mean, it's been a priority for a couple of years because they've been falling apart. I know Paul had talked to Kenny Robinson down at W.R. Robinson. He was gonna mill out some kind of oak that he thought would last longer. So you'd have to maybe pick up that conversation with Kenny, since Paul's gone, and just see what he was gonna talk about
Kenny
with
who?
Kenny
Ken
Robinson.
Robinson at
Oh,
W.R.
Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, W.R. Robinson Lumber.
Right.
I know Paul had reached out to him, and they had some kind of oak, but I can't tell you what species directly.
Okay. So there's no other projects that this money is slated for right now?
No.
I know DPW has been using some of it. And,
Well, I think they took some trees down, but I don't,
There's some loom replacement, things like that, I know.
Yeah,
There's
Rich,
aeration loom.
yeah, Rich Glidden did some reseeding that we were aware of, and
Yeah.
some fertilizing and liming that hadn't been done in eons.
yeah.
eons.
Well, that kind of stuff eats away at it.
Yes.
So we don't know how much we have to work with.
Yeah,
We may just go with,
I would
try
say,
to do half of them
I would,
anyway.
I would say that there are other areas where we can look for grant funding for this. And so I would really strongly urge and recommend that we get a solid number for the project from soup to nuts and see what we can afford in-house and what maybe I could help you with some grants. Because there are, and I know that the Historic Commission always has their eyes open for grants. And because of the historic, registry of our
Yeah.
commons and so forth, we may have some access there. It could be $5,000 here, $6,000 there, but it could be, sufficient to help us get, well, I mean, we could do it in stages, do the first 18 or 20 or 100 at North
Yeah.
Park, because they're the worst, I think. Would you say that, what is it, North Park, are
yeah,
the
probably
worst
North
shape?
Park is the
There's a
worst.
few that just collapsed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and others that are on the cusp of doing that. So for me, I would say when you take a look at the commons, I would say it is a big priority just because it is the common. And I would say, oh, don't worry about it. Next town meeting, we'll be able to put in, $50,000 for a replacement and nobody will say anything other than, hooray, go do it. Probably not.
Well, if we can get some grant money, there's some.
Yeah, well, I do believe that there's we can get some help with some grants.
Okay.
Okay, so we can work on that, but for me, and I hate to say, personally, I think it's a priority for me and has been for a number of years, because now they're just literally falling
It's a
down.
visual, when you drive through our common, it's a
Yeah.
visual.
Well, I mean, we don't do anything to take care of our infrastructure as far as buildings are concerned. Take a look at the town hall, we're having that painted out of federal funds. Take a look at the HVAC systems in all of our buildings, except maybe the senior center. They're really in need of huge amounts of infrastructure, kind of costs, and
But this money, the common fund is
Specific
for
to the common.
Correct.
So,
Right.
Yep.
all right, I'll talk to the other board members and the committee members and see, tell them we need to come up with a total cost for the project.
And then we can chip away at it,
All right,
you know, because maybe we're only gonna be able to do $18,000 worth, or maybe we can get $18,000 worth of grants, you never know.
yeah,
Because in the historic area, there's some monies kicking around. But now certainly you know, whether it be federal money or state money, everything is sort of shut down from a grants perspective, so it's a little more challenging.
it's not here until it's in our pockets.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
All right, those other questions, those are just to let you know what we're thinking in the future. and
Sure.
We might get together again and have more questions for you. All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you,
you, Mike.
thanks, Mike, for signing up and willing to do that work. Any more public comment? Shocking, Sam, I haven't heard from you in weeks.
I've been on vacation.
Oh. Is it a standing presentation?
I have, oh no, it's never gonna be standing.
Oh,
You know, I'm senior, I don't stand as well.
oh,
But I'd rather sit down. Well, a strange thing happened. A friend of mine called me last week and they asked me about what's been happening with this attack on one of the selectmen, Mark Reginas. And I said, I thought everybody knew. He said, no, I saved this paper and you were interviewed
mhm.
in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. So,
This must be decades ago.
well, it was August 17th, 2025.
I believe you if you say it's in there.
Yeah, right. So, anyway, so I think now it's over. It's about time that everybody apologized to Mark McGinnis for throwing him under the bus. And it's not me, it's like a lot of people and whoever the Barre Taxpayers Association is. It's about time. It says here that the federal funding, Marshall, and most, if not all, of this money came from American Rescue Plan of 2021 funding. So in other words, we were lucky to get the $171,000 paid for, but this was still our money, so I think that's about time that we apologize to Mark McGinnis for attacking it the way we did as a board. Remember, it was you and it was John Dixon. So, am I gonna lead the apology, or is everybody gonna lead the apology?
Well, it's not on the agenda, Sam.
We don't care if it's agenda.
You don't.
We don't need an agenda to be apologetic. And if you think that way, I'm confused.
I would just say to you, Sam, that an apology on behalf of the board could certainly be my role if it was voted. I will tell you personally that Mark and I have had numerous conversations during which I said to him, you were right and I was wrong. Okay? I don't,
And I'm not putting this on you.
no,
I think
it
it's
is on
about-
me, it is on
I
me.
think it's about time that.
I don't speak for the board in this matter since I haven't discussed it with them. I will tell you personally, okay, my feelings are that Mark has provided us with some very important information that makes the town better, stronger, and more honest and open. Okay, that's it. I'm not gonna go over this and waste another year
No, you don't have to.
going back and forth.
I'm just
So let's
asking,
just move
Do
on.
you want to lead the apology?
I just-
Shall I?
I thought I just let it.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm apologizing on behalf of all the town and me and everybody and the board that we're sorry we put you through the crap, because in addition to put you through the crap, all during this time you were somewhat ineffective because everybody looked at you as, because you had some sort of a sty or some sort of a bad vibration. So I, for one, am saying that hopefully this is never gonna happen again. And we also have to be very careful with our money. We don't have very much of it, and even though the government gave it to us, it's still our money.
Agreed, Sam, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Sam. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Okay, moving on. Mr. Martin.
Thank you. My name's Douglas Martin. There's a proposal before the planning board to build a lithium-ion battery facility in Barre. And I have a question for the select board regarding that. Two questions, actually. First question is, has the select board taken any position on the construction of this facility, favorable or unfavorable? And if they have not, does the select board plan to take a position to advise the citizens of Barre?
To date, we have not taken a formal position. I don't know if individually people have made comments or not, but we have not voted a particular, position as a board. We have been, I know that Mr. Stevens attended the planning board meeting, and to us, and we have authorized additional legal help for the planning board, offering them the opportunity to use an attorney that they have chosen, thinking that that would be in the best interest of the town, not to use the typical KP law, but to have access to a person or an individual corporation that would know more about the matter. So we have done that. We have not taken a position since the planning board is still, I don't know, you can describe their situation. We're not certain. There has been a formal proposal that instead there has been what appears to be a bait and switch going on. Is that fair?
I think that's eminently fair.
Okay. And so we have, accommodated additional legal resources to manage this with the planning board, but some of this is in the planning board's, jurisdiction right now. And while I might want to say X or Y, as a board, we're kind of sitting back. Richard represented us at the meeting the other night, and Richard, if you could just.
Yeah, I mean, the planning board had to continue the hearing again because they had just received the check late that afternoon, so that the town's engineer that the planning board hired could review the project, which is the subdivision, which was 3 houses on the end of a cul-de-sac, or 4 houses on the end of a cul-de-sac, I'm not sure which, but that's what's formally before the board at this time, although it did reference in the paperwork submittal that possibly may be a battery park. So
Which is
that
the
was
bait and
in the
switch.
original. I spoke in front of the 30, 45 people that were there, and I spoke saying that I was against the project. I don't feel it's right at this time in the town of Barre. So I've already said that individually. And the select board did sign a letter to support the town of Oakham in their endeavors, and we did send that letter several weeks ago, I believe. But we haven't taken a formal vote here yet.
I mean, we're hopeful that the planning board will be providing additional direction for us so that we will be able to be as supportive of them, because they hold the authority to make a decision that the board does not hold the authority to do. So we're eager for them to have the support that they need from the legal people, from the engineering people, that will give them the ammunition they need to make a good decision that we can hopefully support. So some people say, why don't you people, I think they mean us, go buy that land? And I explained to them that we just can't do that, basically because it's not for sale, we don't think. And at any rate, so I think we're trying hard to support the planning board in its work. I mean, we didn't say, no, you can't have extra money for engineering, even though we don't have any extra money to give them. We're giving them, knowing that we're going to take it away from somewhere else.
What was it in?
I don't know the name of the individual. I know members of this board do, but I don't know his name specifically, and I would hate to mispronounce it, because I know it begins with an H, that's all I'll say.
It's Henry Hoffman.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Doug, always for what you've done, not only the planning board before, but for the library and for the, I can't believe what's happened there in Masonic. Great job.
Thank you.
You put Barre on the map for sure in that
I
regard.
think,
I've never seen so many men in tuxedos.
I think down the trail, once the planning board gets a little bit further along, I think we'd be in a better position to support whatever direction they're.
Good. Well, I've been asked a lot of questions by folks, and people don't understand what that thing is. I don't really understand the whole thing. But it needs some, I think the citizens need some help, some guidance to
Make
you
it-
know, to make up their mind about what they would like to see done.
Mhm.
And it's very complicated by the by the unreasonable laws that the state has passed. I understand that that facility is considered green energy,
Exactly.
which is ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's not green energy, it's a moneymaker. So they're gonna charge those batteries with very cheap power in the middle of the night, and then they're gonna sell it at the peak period. It's not, it doesn't increase any electricity.
Right.
It increases the amount of money that you can make off of the electricity, and that's not green energy, that's,
I did see
Green energy.
I did see a letter that went to the abutters in Ocam today for that proposed project from the state committee, because once you reach a certain megawatt or whatever the project threshold is, the state is the permitting authority at that time. So the state sent out a letter today to all the abutters, and there's a hearing coming up. And there'll be an opportunity for the Ocam residents to go to the hearing and voice their concerns. But that committee, that state committee or commission is one that's gonna make the decision in Ocam. Because once you go over a certain threshold, the power leaves the town or the city. And I guess that's what's happening in Ocam. I looked at the letter today. It was sent to an abutter.
And one thing, I know that meeting is going to be held at their elementary school
Yes.
in Ocam, and I'm guessing that there probably will be an opportunity for other residents from, nearby communities to attend, because they are moving it to a larger venue, so it's just not gonna be, enough for Ocam, there would be enough for others. And we'll keep in touch with the select board members from Ocam, and because obviously they probably would be happy to have additional support from neighboring towns.
If anybody would like to go, I don't know exactly where it is, but please keep my email in front of them so that I could, or the phone.
I don't imagine there's gonna be very many happy people at that meeting.
Huh?
I
Well, let's see, the state will come in, it's usually a little different way in which they approach it. I've been at those hearings before. Because I know that there are numbers of police officers who've been, who will be at the meeting. There's this gonna be at the meeting, so there's a lot of external controls. It's not just a free-for-all, that's for sure. It's not a typical town meeting where people can, throw stuff. It's just not.
don't- They do that? Is it people do that?
No, not here.
I was gonna say.
I thought they only do that in northern United States.
Northern,
In Oregon.
oh, poor Oregon.
Oh, they're doing that now.
Anyhow, so, we're very well aware of the project, we're very well aware of what's happening in Ocam, and we just think it's premature for us to come up and say X or Y, we're against this, when we don't know if it's a project in Barre at all yet. We don't know, we've already said we don't want it, we don't want it in Ocam, and I think chances are we probably would say the same thing about it being in Barre.
I can't believe they'd want something like that this close to the Quabbin for one, and not only that it's close to the Quabbin, that's drinking water for Boston. If there's ever an accident, it's gonna go over it's gonna be a large problem.
Well, to really determine the actual extent of any such problem is beyond my pay grade. I would really need to see and listen to engineering reports and to understand better. I know my thing can burst into flames, but other than that, I'm really, lithium batteries are beyond my capacity to give you an idea of how dangerous they are. I mean, I know that there are other places in Massachusetts where these facilities do exist. And some of the places that they do exist in, I'm shocked at, because they're places that I would say, Wellesley would never do this. They did. So there's something, somebody's making money, somebody's whatever. So we stand prepared to act on the citizens' behalf when appropriate.
Madam Chair.
But you should get back on the planning board.
Mary Ann's already told me that.
Well, it's true.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Might we consider taking the fire chief out of order?
Oh,
Because he might have a call
Oh,
at
absolutely.
any moment, and we'd like to hear what he has to say while he's here.
I would be very happy to take the chief out of order and introduce him to the public. Chief,
DiVigilio. I got it.
Oh, no, it's easy. All you have to do is say it a bunch of times, and then it'll roll off the tongue.
So me and Rich met with, I forget her name. Jennifer from Coastal Building a few months ago about increasing our rates, and then
this is relative to the ambulance
ambulance
rates.
billing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And billing.
Coming up with a new set of protocols to write off and then to send to the First Financial contract and send to First Financial, who is a collections agency, to try to get as much money as we can.
So basically, explain when, basically, I don't pay my bill because I can't or won't or whatever. You tell me several times, please pay the bill for the ambulance service. I don't respond.
Yeah, so
I
we
don't
have
respond.
we have a billing agency that sends a bill out. they
Keeps
call, we
asking.
try, But after a certain amount of time, they give up.
They give up, and then we're gonna engage a collection agent
Collection agency.
that will keep calling me.
Keep calling you, yeah.
Got it.
So, and their rate is 33.33%.
It's high.
Yep, and they said they're averaging about 15 to 20% receipts in the collections.
What's a typical ambulance bill that we chase?
We'll say, if you do like ALS, we'll say ALS is right now, off the top of my head, well, it's 13 something for a BLS call.
$1,300
Yeah.
for the ride?
So we'll say an average for like,
Okay,
pretty much a ride. Like,
so I owe $1,300 and I don't pay. The collection agency finally would put a little more pressure on me, and they would take 33% of whatever I could pay.
Yes,
Okay,
We forgave a significant number last year, so we're just trying to improve
the numbers,
the numbers so the money stays in Barre and is effective with running the ambulance program
yeah.
than forgiving $600,000 for people that didn't pay.
Doesn't insurance cover that?
a lot of
A
insurance.
lot of people don't have insurance, or a lot of people will get the checks mailed directly to them and then not send it to the collections agency. So there's a substantial amount of money that people just got.
And then Medicaid, Medicare, like if you would do a ALS one call and it's $1,800, we're only gonna collect $350. Doesn't matter what we do to save you and keep you alive, that's all they pay.
Yeah.
So in other words, what the insurance companies say you can bill is all you can bill, is that it?
Well, no, you can bill whatever,
You can bill.
Yeah.
but they will only reimburse, okay, a very small
Right.
portion of it, depending on the quality of your insurance. If you're a private, if you have your personal insurance, say you have MedX, and you have Medicare, and you have whatever else, and Medicare Advantage, then the chances of the, amount that gets paid to the ambulance service is better than if you don't have
And all
private.
your HMOs, Blue Cross, Harvard Pilgrim, they're just gonna pay the bill.
Yeah.
Those, you never have a problem with those,
It's
typically.
It's,
I mean, that's, I think $1,300 is cheap considering you're taking somebody to a hospital and you're providing, my son's he's a paramedic.
yeah, it's when you
I
actually
get
look at
that.
the prices, and then you see how much the labor costs and like our costs for supplies and materials and medications just keeps going up and up and up too.
Cost of the trucks.
And the
yeah.
trucks are, I don't even want to tell you how
Well,
much
you
a truck
guys
costs
do a
right now.
great job, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
You
So-
came and got me.
So so my proposal is to contract with First Financial, and then to also increase our, what we're billing out. So actually, I have the numbers in front of me. It's $11.50 for a BLS call, so that's not with a paramedic, that's with just an EMT. If you go to ALS, they put someone on our heart monitor, or do like a simple IV, that's currently $13.50, and ALS 2 is $19.50. And then we also bill for supplements, so like, if we do an IV, it's like another $30, or if you do a heart monitor, it's $300.
So these are the current costs?
Yeah, those are the current costs.
Okay,
So, what Jennifer suggested is to combine, just make one cost, because right now they have to read through all our reports and they could miss something. So they could miss that someone gave an IV, or they could miss this. So my proposed is, and I did some research and I got a survey from the District 8 chiefs, and that put us kind of in the high middle. It's kind of the same as what Westminster's billing right now. $1,500 for BLS, $2,100 for ALS, and $2,500 for ALS 2, and increase our mileage up to $34. We're currently at $25.
mhm.
Will the insurance companies support your pricing?
Yeah, well, the HMOs will, but once we get to Medicare and Medicaid, they pay that rate no matter what. It's just one rate.
Well, the secret is keep on drinking your Ovaltine.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
James, when was our last increase?
2019, I believe.
Oh, okay.
long time,
It's
and
been a while.
so you pretty much picked the middle, the high middle,
The high middle,
and like Westminster, comparable.
the comparable town,
Yeah.
they probably have a couple more calls, a different demographic. But
I would say a
comparable.
different demographic for sure.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so I tried to pick something that was kind of similar to us, but call volume wise, they're a little higher than us.
What did Melanie's past town do in these things, in these issues? Any different suggestions?
So I can tell you that this is an issue in every town. Ambulance collections is always an issue. And towns will handle it differently. Different towns will have different policies as to whether or not they're gonna have a collections agency go after people, or if they're just gonna have a write-off policy for it. It just varies town to town.
I mean, hitherto, this, approach, we just forgot the debt.
Yeah, so if we can try to get a little more money out of it, every little bit helps to pay for staffing and pay for equipment and materials and supplies. Some towns that do the first the first financial approach, I think she said Westminster, I think a couple of the Brookfields in the area, so it's not something that isn't done. It's surprised actually when people don't do it. I'm talking to people, like I talked to Sterling, they don't do it. I don't think Holden does it.
If the town of Barre, or the fire department of Barre, goes to another town, Hardwick, or some of the surrounding towns that don't have the equipment, do we get any kind of a benefit for providing
Well,
ambulance services?
currently, right now, we get some money from Hardwick. We used to from New Braintree, but that contract went to somebody else, but no, we just get billing revenue. So if we get called, usually it's Peter Sam, New Braintree, Ocam, we just get the billing revenue out of it.
It's really sad because you begin to, if you sit in his seat, you must say, gosh, I hope they have Med-X. I hope they have, insurance that's going to pay for this. Otherwise, it could be, it's an ALS too, it's $2,500 for the trip, and you're going to get $350.
Yeah, and if it's our resident, I mean, where the town dollars are contributing, the ambulance receipts get moved at town meeting
Yeah.
to pay for the operation of the ambulance. So it's important to collect as much as we can on the receipt end, because we move that at town meeting to pay the EMTs and pay the supplies and all that stuff. But we're gonna take care of it, we're obviously gonna take care of our people no matter what. I mean, that's not the,
Well, it would be interesting to know how many can't pay, how many won't pay.
well,
I mean, because,
it's shocking.
Really?
Well,
Yes.
I'm speaking as a retired fire chief, and I used to sit with select boards and review the list that we'd be asking the select board to forgive, money that was owed to us, and, I knew individuals, and I knew they were capable of paying. It's
Well-
shocking.
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm not going to be reviewing the list, but anyway. Thank you, Chief. I think we need to make an,
So on the contract, is that something the chief can sign, Melanie, or is something you or us need to?
can we authorize the town administrator to work with the fire chief to sign the appropriate documents?
Sure.
Is that a
Whatever you
motion?
think is.
Yep.
Is that a motion?
Okay, once I have that, so here's a paper cut.
Okay.
I just don't know whose purview it is to correctly sign it, so we
I
don't get
think it has 2 spots, so.
deal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, either one of
I'll have
them.
to read it before I sign
Yeah,
it.
no, well,
Okay,
I have a digital form too, that's just
Okay.
a review.
thank you.
And I'll put-
So I make a motion to adjust the ambulance EMS billing rates as submitted tonight by the fire chief.
I'll second it.
Have a motion made and seconded to authorize the new ambulance rates as presented by the fire chief this evening. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion that we authorize our town administrator to work with the fire chief to secure a contract with First Financial Collections Agency, and take into consideration the 7 factors of what, or how, I guess a better word is who would not get a call or a letter from collections, and that's outlined in this document the fire chief submitted tonight.
You want to read a couple of those reasons why I wouldn't
So
get called?
any balance of 500 or less will be automatically written off by the billing company after no action on the account for 120 days. Less than 500 is not reported to or listed by credit bureaus. So again, that's your Medicaid, Medicare people that are probably very fixed income, elderly, whatever. Any balance associated with a patient who is deceased with no estate will be automatically written off. Any balance associated with missing signatures for Medicaid programs will be automatically written off by the billing company after no action on the account for 120 days. Any balance associated with missing signatures for Medicare programs will be automatically written off by the billing company after no action of the account for 365 days. Any balance associated with the patient being paid directly will be transferred to the collection agency after 60 days. So some insurance companies mail residents the check, and they're supposed to turn the check over to the town fire department. They don't. They cash it and whatever. Any patient who has ignored 3 attempts to obtain insurance information and the billing agency has exhausted attempts to obtain insurance information through other means will have the balance transferred to the collection agency after the 3rd attempt. And lastly, any other balances will be reviewed by the town of Barre prior to transferring to the collection agency. So there are parameters in place. Not everybody will hear from the collection company, but
So that would complete the motion?
Yes.
All right, a second?
Second, the motion to authorize the fire chief and the town administrator to work to put together the contract with the collection agency as proposed. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's another vote. Thank you, chief, very much.
thank you, Chief.
James, one question. The, I'm just curious, the BLS calls goes up like 30%, and the other one's like 7.5% to 8%? What's the, I'm just wondering how,
I was just kind of going with.
with what
With
everyone
how
else is,
the other
or
one.
percentages, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
So I was just trying to keep it in line with those
Yep.
percentages.
I'm just wondering, that's all, just to educate
And
myself.
like, that's not a lot of money. Great, it's BLS, we don't do as much as a basic, EMT basic.
Yep.
But we're still in there taking vitals in the truck. and
Gotcha.
The truck is still moving, so.
Yep, yeah, so there's more of that, okay.
Yeah.
Well, people have to understand the truck, when it leaves Barry, wherever it's going, the shortest distance is probably Athol or Gardner.
Yep, Athol's about, you wanna say from the center of town, which I call the end of Walnut Road, it's about 19 miles, and then
Yeah.
to Hardwick, not to Hardwick, to Haywood, it's about 22 miles, 24 to UMass
In traffic.
Memorial, and then 22-ish for Memorial, so we're going pretty far.
Well, the problem is, you get there and you start, everybody says, okay, drop them here and we're off. It's wait for the paperwork, and sometimes it takes several hours before the ambulance returns.
That's gotten a lot better at the hospitals, but it still takes a while. And when we're returning, we return flow of traffic, so we get stuck in that same Holden School traffic, Worcester School,
Yeah.
Worcester, so sometimes we're gone. We like to say an average, if you average everything out, like 3 hours, so it's a long time.
Give our EMTs and paramedics a lot of credit. I've been in the back of an ambulance, and I've had to make that 30-minute trip trying to save someone's life, and it's tough. It's a long ride.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Chief.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
your
very
help.
much.
Thanks, James.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. That's moving him out of order on the agenda. We probably could, while we're down there at the letter E, we probably could take a look at Mr. Whitney over there, who's sitting patiently
Sure.
to be appointed via application to be one of the commissioners on Felton Field. So, Mr. Frank Whitney, I thank you for taking us up on the opportunity to see and work with the individuals who are working on the Felton Field, and look for a motion.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the appointment of Frank Whitney to the Felton Field Commission.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion made and seconded to appoint Frank Whitney to the Felton Field Commission until the next open position is on ballot, which I believe is this spring. Thank you, Mr. Whitney. Your desire to help in this regard, I know you've been doing it in other places, very similar work, so you even know better and you're doing it, so thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome.
Horses are always happy to see you, though, I know.
Yes.
Okay.
And a vote.
He has a lot of experience in this, so we're really lucky to have him.
And a vote.
We need a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Okay. Back to our approval of meeting minutes. We're gonna pass over meeting minutes having to do with executive session issues. That is D, E, and F. But we'll be looking to approve for public release the minutes of August 27th, 2025. And I'll look for a motion for that.
I make a motion that we approve the select board meeting minutes of August 27, 2025.
Second?
And that would be for public release. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving along for September 15th.
I would move to approve the meeting minutes of September 15th, 2025.
Motion,
Second motion.
motion made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes presented for public release. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we now have the final one, Thursday, September 18th. Meeting minutes looking to approve for public release.
Make a motion, we approve the select board meeting minutes of September 18th.
We have a motion.
Second?
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from September 18th and for public release. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, moving along.
Thank you, Sandy. Always appreciated. Yes, lots of material in there.
Okay, moving now down to the town administrator report, and thank you, Melanie, for providing us with that in writing.
Can you pass that down to Sandy? They were just stuck together. I thought I made enough. So there's 3 pages here, so I'm not gonna read through, well, almost 3 pages, so I'm not gonna read through everything. But I've been working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bid packages. There's only 4 listed here because there were 2 for the DPW vehicles, so we're getting caught up on procurement. The grants to High Plains Park, I sent the paperwork to the Worcester Registry of Deeds to be recorded, because that was one of the requirements that hadn't been completed. And when the park is done, I'll contact DCS to come out for the final inspection so we can get the reimbursement. I think we have just over $8,000 left in the grant to spend to shore up the fence and get some benches, whatever else we need. The Mass Cultural Council grant was completed online. That took me a bit to get done, but they said it was completed. The Green Communities grant through the Department of Energy Resources, that's $213,968 that was previously secured for phase 1 of the Henry Woods Building VRF heat pump. I don't know what phase 2 is, but I will figure it out. But that has been sent back to the department, and I'm waiting for a fully executed contract so I can start procurement with that. And I'm glad Director Hood is here because I got an email about the MBI Digital Equity Grant that was specifically geared towards the library, no place else in town. And apparently they extended the deadline for being able to apply for it, which is tomorrow. And I didn't know if you were still interested in applying for it.
I did get your email, I'm not in the office on Monday.
No, that's
so,
okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't know if they have.
Looks
all the
like some good
information that
Saturday
we
work.
need. I think they have all the information, I think everything that we have submitted is what they need for it. But
Okay.
if there's anything else.
All right, so I will get in touch with them
Thank you.
tomorrow and let them know. We do have a few public records requests going that I thought should be here. Well, the first one is just unpaved dirt roads that I passed off to the DPW superintendent. He'll let me know when that's done. But then we had 2 rather large public records requests from an anonymous requester. And one of them is going to be quite time consuming. They want all communications excuse me, between the town administrator or interim town administrator to all other parties, including but not limited to emails or other written communications from April 1st of 2025 to September 29th of 2025. So I contacted IT, they said that that is 12,000 approximately emails that it would take them 2 hours to extract at $90 an hour. I'm the only one who can read said emails
Right.
for redaction purposes, so you're looking at 12,000 emails plus any
Waste
potential
of her time.
attachments corresponding to those emails. I have no idea how long that's gonna take me. How can I possibly? So I'm gonna petition the Commonwealth. I've actually contacted KP Law for assistance with it, because where I can't define a time, I'm not sure how to petition the Commonwealth on that. So that's an enormous undertaking, and just trying to find, I mean, how much time do I dedicate to a day of reading 12,000 emails?
If you can do it in a day, you are a whiz.
Well, I mean, do I dedicate 10 hours a day, or do I just say 1 hour a day, I'm gonna read through these 12,000 emails? I mean, I don't know. I've never been in this position before. So it's, to me, it's really frivolous. All of these requests from this anonymous person has to do with this position. So I have no
Before
idea.
you?
No, with me being here, it seems like. So, and there's a whole list of things, but that's the one thing that I'm gonna have to put off and petition the Commonwealth for.
Kind of runs along the same lines as what we've been dealing with for the last year.
Lovely.
So,
Yeah, so,
Is it normal to accept a public records request from an
yes,
anonymous person?
you have to, yeah.
It's, yeah,
I mean, do they supply a reason why they want to do
Nope.
this?
They don't have to. They don't have to.
probably
mean,
the
it's
sa- Probably
obviously-
the same as before.
Yeah, I mean, with the request, it's obvious that they want to know if I'm qualified to be here, if everything was done correctly, if there was any, in my opinion, I can't say that's what the purpose is, in my opinion, if there was any backdoor dealings or anything. So this one 12,000 thing is gonna take up a lot of time.
Well, I want to know, I did some homework on that, and there are several ways to address it. We could, and this is from one of the Boston boards, we could ask for an extension from the agency in Boston, from maybe OIC or maybe the ethics, or whoever it is, but we can ask for an extension. We could also charge the person an amount that would be logical for the services that is provided, and even they mentioned $60, $70, $80 an hour when I spoke to them.
Yeah,
And
I-
Boston.
and that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna petition the state
Right,
in order for an extension of time and to charge a fee.
or else we could bring in someone from the state at no cost to us to help us address this, because we can't do business with
Frivolous stuff, yeah.
this frivolous stuff.
Frivolity, as I think I wrote
He
frivolity.
did, yeah, he did, yeah.
So after, and thank you, Sam, after all of those, so I attended a slew of meetings. Let me just see if there's anything. Oh, the Green Communities Program, that's coming up due, at the end of the month. And I have to supply like all of the usage of oil, heating oil and propane and diesel and electricity. So that's coming up. Let's see, the meeting with DEP and the DPW and Water Superintendent for corrective action plan that we're working constantly towards to make sure we satisfy all those requirements. Let's see if there's anything else that's really. Yeah, I mean, the rest are just self-explanatory. And then other things I sent in the workers' comp audit documents that we have to do annually. I'm working on the schedule of vehicles and property that we get insured through Maya, and I sent them to the police, fire, DPW/water/sewer. I've gotten police and DPW back so far, though I did give them to the end of the week. And we definitely have modifications that we have to make on there because we're insuring things that we don't have anymore. So we gotta get those cleaned up. I believe I completed all of the requirements to the auditor's office. We're just waiting for the chief and the chair to submit the fuel questions that they have. And I think that's pretty much it.
busy, I would say.
Yes.
Very.
Would you consider posting this?
Yeah, it can go right online. That's
Yeah.
why I gave it to Sandy. It's gonna be part of the packet.
Yeah, I think that'd be wonderful.
Yep.
Let everybody read the whole document.
Yes.
It's too lengthy to read it. You're slowing down a lot, thank you.
I would just say, though, that what she's written here is not really as substantive as it might be. Because not only are all of these things in the works, but the competency that she brings to the table to get this work done is just extraordinary.
Agreed.
And
Oh,
in
thank
addition
you.
to that, I would say her work ethic is more than we can pay for. But thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It was-
Okay, moving along. I know, do we have any selectmen reports of specificity that people would like to walk through with the community?
I didn't add anything on the agenda.
I did not either.
Nor did I.
We're supposed to put stuff on the agenda if we're gonna
Yes.
talk about it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, nothing to talk.
Next meeting, we'll put stuff.
If you have specific stuff, I mean, you can talk a lot about the pull, the tractor pull. At our next meeting, I'll intend to put that on before you. Okay, now, I'm gonna ask Melanie to sort of talk a little bit about our interdepartmental transfers discussion, possible vote. I'd just like to bring to everyone's attention that during the time frame when our
Take one, pass it there. Thank you.
our transfers should have been moving and happening with our financial agents within our organization as well as with the board ultimately. It didn't happen. We were we had Balakonis and we had the chief of police, and finally we had, when it was almost too late, we had somebody who really knew what we were doing. We have lost the services of our town treasurer, as you know, effective September 2nd or 3rd, I believe. So knowing that, we have been in a deficit for the expertise necessary to travel on and do all of the things that are required as we wrap up FY '25. So I'll leave that to you now to just walk us through the problems that we are in and how we might be able to extricate ourselves, meaning the town, from a lack of ability to provide the Department of Local Services, Department of Revenue, information that they sought.
So, per chapter 44, section 33B of Mass General Laws, you can only, without a town meeting vote, you can only transfer funds interdepartmentally in a fiscal year in the months of May, June, and the first 2 weeks of July, ending July 15th. It was not done. Technically, that's supposed to reduce our free cash, that amount. I have emailed DLS asking that if there's any way we can appeal that it's going to be a huge hit for the town. We've already had to cut our budget. It hit our public safety budgets. If we have to cut it again, it's gonna hit the public safety budget again. Knowing that override failed, I don't see how we would not have to cut the budget again. If we have to take how much was it? $273,789.68 in transfers right off the top of our free cash.
Well, how much was that again?
$273,789.68.
See, we've got it, we just have to move it.
Right, in other words, there's nobody that can move it, right?
Well, there is somebody that can authorize us, which would be the Department of Revenue, the Division of Local Services, working with the person who ends up with the problem, not that we don't all end up with the problem, but who tries to extricate us from this problem. There's absolutely clear reasons why, and I know that the Department of Local Services and Revenue understand our situation. 3 different town administrators, the treasurer, a problem there, and that position being now vacant. We do have a company that's coming in to sort of help us to close the fiscal year.
Well, this list originates from the accounting office, so this isn't really have anything to do with the treasurer collector's office.
So we do have the list now,
Yes,
And
we
it's-
have the
and
list now.
and it says 7/15/2025.
But I looked back at the email and I never received it I don't know. It's
Okay.
not I should just say, it's not in the town administrator email that I can find.
Okay, and we never received it from our emails either, so. if it was available to us, well, you know, we were certainly moving and shaking and doing a lot of things in July and August, that's for sure.
So.
But anyway,
It does need to be voted to be transferred. I don't believe the accountant has closed the books yet. And it is going to end up, it may end up reducing our free cash by law. It should. I don't know if there is an appeal process for it or not, but I am going
Hopeful.
to definitely find out
Yeah.
through everybody I can possibly ask what we can do.
do you need us to authorize your work on that, or to,
I don't think so.
do you think?
You can vote the number or not?
Yes.
Would it be, so we're gonna vote these transfers tonight?
If you feel comfortable voting them, yes. I mean, I do have a question. I don't know what the machinery account is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the town equipment. The loaders, the backhoes, the dump trucks.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because the town bill, the town barn is a different highway, town barn account than the machinery account.
Okay.
So that's all the equipment the DPW uses.
Yeah, because typically when the transfer at end of year is this high, it's because there's snow and ice involved. But I don't see snow and ice anywhere on this
Well-
list, so I was quite shocked that it was
I mean,
so
I-
A
high.
I
lot
mean,
of the equipment wasn't usable
Yeah,
to go to
Yeah.
work last winter, so we had to bring in, they had to bring in, not me, because I wasn't elected yet. They had to bring in outside repairmen to get the equipment so they could actually use it and maintain the roads, and that was a pretty hefty, am I correct? Pretty hefty.
that's absolutely true, yeah.
Okay.
So the concern that I have, obviously, is what is in our best interest as a town? Is it in our best interest to spend another, have you spend another week or so looking at this document, and then we have a meeting, just to deal with intergovernmental transfers
I mean,
next
at
week?
this point, I have reached out to Dan Jewell,
Oh,
is
yeah,
that his name, on the
yeah.
FinCom as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and we're supposed to meet
Good.
just to discuss the whole budgeting process and everything as well. I mean, and at this point, if it's not already voted, I don't know if Jean's ready to close the books or not, so I don't know what difference,
Well,
I don't know if it'll make a difference
so-
to her or not for closing
well,
out FY twenty-five.
if she hasn't closed the books, how does she recommend the transfers?
Well, you recommend the transfers before you close the books.
Okay, so she's recommending that the area where we've overexpended, we can
Yes.
cover it from other areas where we
Yeah, so
underexpended.
page 2 shows where the surplus is and
Right.
where all that money would be coming back. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that this is her final,
Mhm.
but I don't know that for certain.
Okay, so you'll need to sit down and have some more information with her,
Yeah.
and you expect some outreach from the DLS?
I'm hoping, yes.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna not answer you. Oh, they wouldn't do that.
Oh,
Well, no, I mean,
considering.
they have worked with us before.
Yeah, and
So-
considering the finance committee also has to approve this, I don't know when, do you know when their meeting is, if they're
Well,
scheduled to meet?
they usually don't start meeting until into the late part of October, where
Okay.
they begin, so.
So I would
But I mean,
say-
they would be, amenable to doing whatever is necessary to get this thing resolved.
Yeah, so I would say if they're not gonna meet till the end of October, you can wait till your next meeting
Okay,
to vote this, because it's not, you can't do anything until you
Okay.
both voted anyway,
okay.
so.
Well, I would say thank you for this report, but,
I know.
No,
I'm
in the
sorry.
previous years, what deadline would you going with as far as the transfers?
I only asked Sandy about last year, and she said it was in October as well. So, and this is the sad part, is that there's no reporting mechanism with DLS to say that you did it incorrectly. But considering it's a vote at Board of Selectmen, Select Board and FinCom, there's record of it.
mhm.
So it's not like you could just say, oh yeah, we did it, and backdate it, because it's voted.
Yeah, well,
So-
yeah, okay.
Not that we would do that anyway.
Well, Dan could call a meeting.
I'm sorry?
Dan Jewell could call a meeting of the finance committee sooner than,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
if we need to do that, yeah.
He's
I mean,
supposed to be reaching, he was out of the state, he's supposed to be
Yeah.
reaching out to me this week.
Yeah, and I would say that if you haven't heard from the the Department of Local Services at Revenue, I have people that I know down there, we could make a call. We've had issues of concern that they have helped us with
Yeah,
before.
I just emailed him Friday, so I'll
Yeah.
leave him until tomorrow or
Okay.
Wednesday, and then I'll,
Okay, let us know
Follow up.
if
Yeah.
we can be of any help.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions about that? Hearing none, we'll move forward with waiting for further information from the Department of Local Services and so forth and whatever. Okay, we do have information, I believe, in our packets regarding the Community Preservation Act that I believe the Planning Board had asked us to consider moving forward to a town meeting with potentially explaining, to people what the Community Preservation Act is and whether or not the town would or could or should participate in that process. I think we do have a motion that we'd like to, have a committee of less than 4 people, or no more than 4 people, to sit down, consider this, maybe one member from the Board of Selectmen, maybe one member from the, certainly the Planning Board, and other community members who might, citizens who might be interested in having a discussion about it. It is something that has to be studied and then recommended at a town meeting, and the entire town meeting would have the opportunity to hear about it and to understand it better and to decide whether or not they would like the town to participate in the Community Preservation Act. Some people will be thinking it's a great thing to do. Other towns around us, the town of Hubbardston does it, other towns do, they think it's very good and has been helpful to them. We do know that the amount of matching funds that the state, continues to dwindle. Used to be dollar for dollar, now it's not dollar for dollar, I don't know what it is.
They said to expect a 70% reduction in matching funds.
Okay, and we don't even know what the matching funds are at this point. I don't think they were at equal amount even now.
Last year they were pretty close. They had been dollar for dollar, but when I met with DLS last year, they said plan for a 70% reduction
Okay,
in
then,
matching
so
funds.
now we'll get 30 cents on every dollar. But the town has considered this before. It has come to the town meeting. It has been voted down. This has a very small impact on your tax bill, but again, it's money that is available to do community projects, like the stuff that Mr. Perkins was talking about, for example.
Yep.
What could happen with, the communities,
Monuments, town hall
monuments, town
painting.
all that kind of stuff. So there's some benefit to the towns, and some people will be, carry it to the fact that they would want this, and whether or not we want to get and put it in front of the town and give them the opportunity to consider participating in it. Other towns do it. Other towns think it's great. Some other towns, I think you said that some towns, it's difficult to manage.
It is difficult because you have to have a certain number of committee members, and they have to be from different boards and commissions. And there are restrictions, like if you do like the historical piece of it, you have to stick to historical preservation. You have to really work with your historical commission to make sure that you're doing everything accurately. The community housing funds can only be used for community housing. So you do have your 3 different buckets, if you may, where you can only spend that money from. So it's not as easy as here's the money, let's vote to spend it on whatever. You really have to organize yourself and make sure you have the staff available to do it.
One thing we're very fortunate, we have a very, very active historical commission.
That's good.
I would say, very active. And they certainly would be an individual group that we would be able to talk to and say,
Oh, absolutely, that's
Is
what I
this-
was thinking.
is this something, you might be interested in helping us with, if because they do have an awful lot of people that work there that to support the community's historic nature, for sure. But anyway, we bring it to your attention so that I request that you would entertain a vote to authorize the establishment of a 4-person committee to look into this and to report back to the committee sometime in late January, so we can be prepared for annual town meeting if this is something that we would like to
Do
pursue.
we have to read this one?
I'm sorry?
We actually have a motion
Yes, we
for
do.
that.
Yep.
Would you like me to read it?
Go ahead, Joe, why don't you
Okay.
go ahead.
All right, I would move that the Barre Select Board authorize the creation of a study committee not to exceed 4 members to review and evaluate whether the town of Barre should seek citizen adoption of the Community Preservation Act, known as the CPA. The committee shall examine the potential financial, legal, and community impacts of adopting the CPA and provide a report and recommendation to the select board within a time frame established by the board.
We have a second?
Second,
We have a motion made and seconded to establish the committee to look into in detail the Community Preservation Act as it might be considered by the town meeting. And those in favor?
aye.
Aye, okay. Traffic Control Unit reappointment, and those people who have decided not to be reappointed. These are the individuals who you see, that you recognize, who are one of the citizens who act as sort of a quasi constable type, you know, directing traffic around the tree work and so forth in town. So we have a number of people who are on the list who have taken the certification classes that are necessary and provide this service for an hourly rate that is established by the town. The individuals who are noted here for reappointment, as you can see, are all of Austin, Mobilia, Balser, Devine, Gustafson, Horn, Clayman, Moran, Parker, Polia, Pocholsky, Ryle, and George. Those are individuals who are currently on the team for, shall we call them traffic control, and have participated in that job for, I think, this is the second year of their appointment. So I would take a motion to reappoint those individuals.
I make a motion that we reappoint the list as presented tonight.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to reappoint those individuals recommended by the chief of police and who have had an established career as a traffic control officer. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we now have individuals who have requested not to be reappointed. I don't know if it's really necessary for us to take a vote, but just to be on the safe side, can we indicate that these two individuals listed on this list are no longer considered traffic control officers and are requesting that their name be removed from the list?
Do we know if they actually resigned? or-
I
That's
believe
how it was
the
sent to me
chief.
by the chief.
Chief.
Okay. All right, well, I'll make a motion that we accept the two names presented tonight that wish to be not reappointed to the traffic control.
And that would be Jennifer Walker and Emily Walker.
I'd second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to accept the not to be reappointed request of Jennifer Walker and Emily Walker regarding the traffic control officer position. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye. Okay, now for what everybody's been waiting for, trick or treat. We do have trick or treat and trick or treat and trunk and all that, and treat hours will be Friday, October 31st. Oh, it's great, it's on Friday this year. Friday, October 31st, from 5:30 PM to 8 PM. No registration is required for children to go and enjoy the opportunities that will be on the common. They will begin at 4:30. Common Street will be closed to all traffic at 5:30 PM. Traditional trick-or-treating will still be permitted between 5:30 and 8 for children who go from home to home. And warning to the people who live up in the center of town area, because that is where we have the very largest group of children trick-or-treating. We're grateful this year to the Barre Savings Charitable Foundation, who are funding the trunk or treat activities. And last year, I should say last meeting, you also approved on the 24th of October, I believe, the trick or treat kind of Halloween parade up to Ruggles Lane. So it looks like a busy trick or treat season for the town of Barre. We need a vote to authorize those trick or treat times as presented.
I would move to approve the Halloween trick or treat and trunk or treat hours on the date and time as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the trick or treat and trunk or treat hours as presented, October 31st, and the times of the 5:30 to 8 PM. 4:30, where we will see Common Street will be closed to traffic, and the typical trick-or-treating will be permitted on that evening from 5:30 till 8 PM. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have already dealt with Barre Fire proposed EMS billing rates.
Seaway.
Okay, and the Council on Aging resignation, we have Peter Truffalo seeking to resign from the Council on Aging. We need a vote.
I would move to approve the resignation of the Council on Aging member Peter Tripolo.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we do have license renewals here. These are both vitriol license, Sandy?
Yeah, it's a common vic license.
For both, it says the common vitriol license is so for the Corner Coffee.
Corner Coffee.
Gotcha, okay. So the Corner Coffee Company LLC is looking to renew their common vitriol's license. Those in favor? That's the little place that we,
Yeah.
on the corner.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
make a motion.
We have a motion to approve?
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the common victuals in-holders license to Jennifer Nadeau for the Corner Coffee Company LLC, 25 Exchange Street.
We have a motion made and
Second.
seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we have some personnel wage authorizations. We are passing over Christopher Adams at the chief's request due to paperwork issues. And we would authorize or look for a motion to authorize Charles McKinstry, library assistant, at step one, $17.30 an hour. And Sarah Reeks,
I
Rex?
don't know if it's Reeks or Rex.
Okay, let's go with Rex. Library assistant on step one, minimum bachelor's salary at $17.56 an hour. We need a vote?
I would move to approve the wage authorization for Charles McKinstry and Sarah Rex as presented.
Second?
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the salary per hour rates as presented. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Just while you're here, Joe, again, my thanks for what you've done with the library and your staff. They are phenomenal. I saw that they were working today, at least the Barre Library Association. I believe they were doing,
They were putting the drapes up in Allen Hall.
Putting up the drapes in
Allen
Ath Hall.
We're working on the windsarts, look back and all. the-
Okay, I'd love-
the windows we have.
I
Oh,
would,
boy.
I
We're doing
would,
that tonight, they're there now.
I would love the, putting up the drapes is not an easy job,
No,
and they're huge.
Yeah, they look
Okay,
great.
well, that's good, and that's, I think that's the Barre Library, I mean, that's Barre Savings
Sure.
Foundation
Yes.
also supported that project. So our thanks again to the Barre Savings Charitable Foundation, as well as your staff for their, and the Barre Library Association, who are up there for no pay and no recognition, just doing their work.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have an approval of personnel policies in response to the State Office of the Inspector General. We only had one additional policy that was required of us. We've seen the rest that we have, and those are here for your review, and one for you, Sandy.
I'm good, I've read it.
Because I think I got two now.
Oh, if you had two, give me one.
Yeah.
I gave you all mine, okay. And this is called, instead, they have asked us to get rid of our comp time policy, that we should not have a comp time policy. And so, after some work and conversation with the Office of the Inspector General, and then some conversations with Melanie, we decided to go with something that's very easy to establish, a flex time policy. And the purpose of this policy, I'll read for the record, is to establish clear rules regarding the use of flex time for salaried exempt employees of the town of Barre. This policy eliminates the use of compensatory comp time for all employees in order to maintain compliance with state and federal law, reduce administrative burdens, and provide a simple, transparent framework for managing work hours. Flex time is intended to offer limited flexibility to salaried employees who from time to time may be required to work extended or unusual hours. The Office of the Inspector General, basically in their report regarding, the commission, that would be the DPW commission, basically said our lack of ability to manage properly comp time and have people imagine that they had earned over 15 years or 13 years, hours and hours and days of comp time that they could use however they would like, was one of the huge problems that we had to confront. So there is no longer any comp time in the town of Barre, other than if we have a thing called a flex time policy. And we also have an addendum to that policy that says there's a rationale for the prohibition of comp time. The town of Barre does not allow the use of compensatory time for employees. This decision reflects both legal requirements and practical management consideration that are common in small municipalities. And we have legal compliance issues in there, we have financial transparency, we have administrative simplicity discussed, we have fairness and consistency, And again, the reasons for the prohibition of comp time in Barre is to avoid legal exposure under the wage and hour laws, to prevent hidden or ballooning financial liabilities from accumulated comp time, to reduce the administrative burden of tracking accruals and payouts, to manage transparency and fairness in how employees are compensated. Any employee who works for the town of Barre will be required to sign an acknowledgement about how any flex time would be managed. And obviously, the town administrator would be responsible for keeping track through department heads of anybody who says, I really worked late last night, I'm not gonna come in till noon. They can't do that unless they've already said, I've got to work late tonight. Can I use comp time tomorrow to come in at 10 rather than 8?
Flex
Flex
time.
time, flex time,
Flex
sorry.
time.
Flex time. Hush my mouth, yeah, sorry. Anyway, so that is the policy, and we will be ensuring that all of the new policies that we have, and let me just roll through them quickly for you. We have a time card use and verification policy that's new, an out-of-office working hours policy, which is new, a process of controls for work time reporting and compensation, a policy on supervision and approval of family member work hours, and we have a policy for employee and official training and compliance policy. In other words, we now have the obligation, once this final policy is voted tonight, I hope, or reviewed for the next meeting, whatever the board would like, that we will then have a workshop. And all of the new policies will be, presented to all employees so that everybody knows what what our expectations are and what they can expect to happen if they don't fulfill the expectations. There's no more, I've got 90 days of comp time and I get to use it. So, questions on the policy? It's up to you if you want to lay it on the table until our next meeting, after you've had an opportunity to look at it. Is it been to the Office of the Inspector General, who they have approved the policy as is?
How are we handling the people that feel they have accrued time on the books
You know
prior
what?
till tonight?
According to the Office of the Inspector General, there was no such legal obligation of the town to provide comp time, and thus the fact that we did, when there was no authority to do so, leaves them, I don't think we've got anybody who's got a bunch of comp time. You have comp time?
Flex time.
No, I mean, I don't know of any, I mean.
I'm just curious if we had.
Anybody who's down at the DPW department now is no one who has any comp time. I don't know of any other, Sandy, if you have some issues, obviously.
I don't have issues.
Okay. So,
Okay, I just didn't know if we had a list of
well,
employees that
understand,
had
there was no such thing, the problem.
hundreds
that-
of hours sitting on a piece of
Yeah,
paper
yeah,
somewhere.
well,
that-
yeah,
I
but
don't have that.
there was never anybody who had 100 hours on paper anywhere. There was never any paper that described, okay, I worked for 38 hours on, extra on this week. There was never any documentation of any of that. And then there was just a reference when times got difficult to say, oh, I had comp time. There was never any official policy for comp time, and as the Office of Inspector General made it clear to me, there was never a comp time policy, so people could not have been accruing comp time. So if people feel at this point that they have been docked hundreds of hours of comp time, you can only, by law, I think it's 280 hours.
By law, if you're salary, you don't get comp
Yeah.
time or overtime
Mm.
Yeah.
unless there's an.
An addendum
MOU.
of something,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good, fair enough.
no, I'm,
Second thought, budgetary, like, we will have some people fluxing, so that will affect the budget a little bit,
no, it doesn't.
potentially,
It's time, it's flex hours.
okay?
In other words, if
Right.
I'm working and I stay, and she says to me, as I'm her administrative assistant, she said, I need you, Maureen, to work all day Saturday and all day Sunday, because we need to get this stuff out.
I would never.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just saying.
A good example, if we're here until 8 o'clock tonight and Sandy says, I'm coming in 2 hours late tomorrow, I'm
That's
gonna
flex time.
say, that's fine.
That's flex time. That's flex, but then it has to be used during the same pay period that is, unless it's the very last, okay?
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks to
So,
use it.
so basically what you're looking at, because we have the 2-week timesheet, and I am going to be changing timesheets, so
Yeah.
everybody's using the same timesheet
Thank you.
with times entered.
Thank you.
I just haven't had a chance to get to that yet. So you have a 2-week pay period timesheet, You should see on the timesheet, like the first week you might have worked over, or a day or whatever, and it's carried over, so it just washes out. If it's the end of the week and you have an extra 2 hours, you wanna see on that next timesheet, the minus 2 hours, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just a wash, cause you can't, there's some things you just can't prevent.
Yeah.
You know, like if this
Oh,
meeting went
understood.
till 8 or 9 o'clock, we, you know,
Yeah.
it's not
Understood,
something.
but I'm
we
asking
know.
the tough questions, so
Yeah.
that it all gets fished
Yeah.
out now, and doesn't get fished out later.
Yeah.
Do
Um,
they have to punch in?
Not here, not
The
at the town hall.
DPW department people punch in and out.
Are we requiring employees to sign time cards?
Timesheets, yes.
Okay.
We should,
That is,
we're
that is,
not- we
that is
should
the
be,
policy
yes.
now. That
Okay,
is the
well,
policy.
again,
Yes.
it needs to be done,
And
and
like I said, I'm revamping them, and there'll be a place for the, I know I sign a bunch of them, I don't even know when these people work. There'll be a place for the employee, a place for the supervisor to sign, and it's gonna be, everything's gonna be the same
And then,
across the board in
and the
town
time
hall.
card policy that we
Yeah.
adopted says you have to sign it, and you're the one who said
I did. I
they should
did.
have to sign it as well
I
as the.
did. Well, I work in a part-time town, and I have to physically drive down and sign my time card,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
supervisor signs it,
Yeah.
and I get to verify my hours.
Yes,
and
the employee should always, always, always.
So I
sign
think it's a
the
wonderful
card.
thing, and I wanna make sure we're doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and so, the only trouble we could run into is that, for example, and we're negotiating a policy, but see, all the policies that we negotiate are within the police department and, fire department and, DPW.
Yep.
DPW are definitely, would have, they have a lot of stuff that they can do. They could put flex time in their contract or not, but right now, they're hourly employees. They punch in, they punch out,
So they get paid overtime.
and they get paid overtime. So they're all, you know, really handled by, you know, their contracts.
Sounds good.
Okay, so if you'd like to vote it tonight, we can vote it tonight, and then we can then we have to get into the personnel bylaws and, or I should say policy.
I need to go through
Yeah.
that entire policy, because there's a lot of things in there that I've been looking for that just aren't even in there,
Yeah.
so.
So we'll have to
There's a lot
decide
of
what,
things to address.
what date we want these to become, you know, operational. We could do this as an addendum and make them operational within, say, you know, November 1st. So everybody's got their timesheets and everybody knows the way in which we're doing things. Or we can give it a longer window, but I don't know if that's necessary.
Well, I'm having a department head meeting on October 16th, so I can just,
Walk it through?
yeah, walk it
I
through,
can give
give
you
it
a
to
cop-
them then, and then just roll it out November 1st,
Okay.
the way it's done.
And
my
the only other thing we
satisfied.
have for the Office of Inspector General, all the stuff that we were supposed to do is done now, except for whether or not or when we are going to begin work at the legislative level. And that would probably have to, you know, kind of originate, maybe we can have a conversation about that at our next DPW meeting, about what that might look like and how that might be structured. Because I would suspect it'll take us at least until the spring or
But
until they're done with their legislative session before we
But
would
doesn't that not require another town meeting vote first before it goes to the legislature?
I really don't know. I'd have to ask the legislature.
I think so.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know either.
I think the town has to vote to dissolve it, and then it goes to the legislature for approval.
Yeah, no, the town has to dissolve.
So it's gonna have to be done at a
first.
town
Be a
meeting.
town meeting
Town
first, again.
And I'm pretty sure it can be a special as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's
Doesn't have
tied
to
to
be
an
annual.
annual. Right,
No.
right.
okay. So,
I'm okay with this. I don't see why we wouldn't adopt it.
Yeah,
and if I would entertain a motion to accept the flex time policy as written and approved by the Office of the Inspector General.
So moved. You said it very eloquently.
Yeah,
Okay, we have a motion made and
Second.
seconded. Those in favor?
So you made the motion?
Dr. Marshall
I
made the-
did,
Dr. Marshall made the motion, but I kinda helped her.
yeah.
he the move.
Barney moved. Who second?
Yeah,
We let the chair make motions one time.
I guess.
Who second? You did?
Yeah,
Mark,
Mark did.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
totally out of realm.
Okay, so moving along to the end of the meeting. Approval of personnel policies, general report, possible vote, we got that done. We are ready to entertain a motion to adjourn unless somebody else has something that we can't live without hearing.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. Those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
very good.